What's up, everyone? It's uh, it's Kavi here. I'm going to Night Drop. We're gonna do a little thing called bar talks. There's just talking to bartenders, talking about everyday things. Probably cracking a few jokes as I get a cocktail. Probably potentially make a cocktail, and then go from there. So you haven't seen the entire cocktail menu, right? So do you build it yourself?
Menu? Sure. I mean, the newer ones are, I would say, more curated. The first one, yeah. Anytime you open up a menu, it's just you. It's a process. You go in front of the chef with your ideas, bounce some things, and then same thing with ownership, because ownership wants to have a say in the food and beverage direction, because they're trying to establish a theme or a brand. And then once you sort of get that first one clicking, maybe it'll take a second one to really be solid, but we're on our third, we're about to go into our fourth menu, and now it's more of a democracy. I've always been a democracy kind of bartender. You're taking so much weight off of yourself, so it's trying to come up with 5-10 unique sort of signature drinks. I mean, it's not just mixing shit. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of. It's a science all by itself. It's an underpaid science.
Yeah.
So how do you cut the list down? So how do you tell someone, hey, this cocktail sucks, or hey, we're not going to use this because of X, Y, Z?
Yeah. I think having a good staff is part of that. I mean, we're all very honest. We're all brutal. I come from an art and design background, and my teachers always taught me that it doesn't matter your skill level or where you're at in your life, as long as you're honest with yourself and you know like what you put down. If you put something down in front of the client and it's crap and you know it's crap, like you have no one to be mad at but yourself. So all of my bartenders know that. They're all artists in their own right, whether it be acting or painting or whatever. But B, I mean, they take this semi-seriously. So when they put a drink down, they're like, "This is the one I want you to really think about." And then here's a couple other ideas I had. And it's usually the other ideas that it's like, all right, there's something here. We're gonna move forward with this, or don't even waste your time, because we have way more important things to work on than sitting here trying to tinker with a million drinks. This is an adventurous menu. I'm not going to deny that. There's some weird ingredients on there.
But it works well, so...
Yeah. Fortunately, we're at a restaurant where there's a lot of weird ingredients in the food, too. So, we train our entire staff to have a conversation. Look, if this was a B-dubs, then no offense to B-dubs, and I look forward to your money someday. There's a certain, your clientele, and you have to be very specific, and you don't have a lot of time to sit there and hold hands and walk people through things. I mean, you're at B-dubs, you want, whiskey and ginger, and you want fucking wings, But here we have it's an intimate space. You've got a moment with your guests, so we don't mind talking about it. I mean, our menu, this is a wordy menu. You have to sit here and read it. It's like a book. So, we use those ingredients to our advantage, I guess.
How do you take that time to be like, all right, we need to sit down and figure out what works well together versus let's just throw this content out?
Yeah. Look, chain restaurants work on a formula, right? You're supposed to be able to walk into anywhere across the U.S. or even around the world, and you've had this burger in New Jersey and it tastes exactly like this burger in Yugoslavia. They're trying to... It's a comfort feeling, right? Because we've got, you as an American, you have this palate. We know that 90% of Americans are going to be okay with this, the way this tastes, the way this costs, and this experience. And that's what they're going for. They're going for majority. So there's a lot of filler in things. Juices can be cheap. Orange juice is cheap. Syrups are cheap. So they lean on that, and your pours are generally going to be smaller at a chain restaurant because is they have certain margins they need to hit. Like, chain restaurants are big. Don't get me wrong. There's science behind that shit. Like, if you can keep a 15,000 square foot restaurant afloat by making mudslides and, potato skins, like, God bless you. Like, you've done something that I can only dream of. But yeah, I mean, that's the big difference here. Is like, we're not creating this high volume experience. We're creating a very limited. I know I'm only going to sell 12 of this drink tonight, or 10 of this drink, or even 2 of this drink. I mean, everyone knows me from milkshakes. We have like some crazy milkshakes on menus sometimes, but I mean, it's not like I'm pumping out 100 of those a night. I'm only doing like 6 to 8. But what's interesting with this menu is, okay, here's 6 bourbon drinks. So now let's see what kind of customer you are, or let's see what kind of bourbon drinker you are. And that's where the curation comes into play. It's like when you're curating a cocktail menu, and I don't know you, like, we're only a year old. I don't know a lot of people that come into this bar yet. I'm trying to establish that, repertoire. So once I've seen you order certain drinks, and now I know what your palate is, now I can go in and freestyle for you because you've been on this sort of wavelength. And once I get to know you, I can start stretching you a little bit. Like, I'm not going to go with a stranger and be like, oh yeah, you should totally try this, like, onion brine tequila martini. Like, it's our favorite. Like, yeah, it's our favorite. We're asshole bartenders, but, it's not going to be your favorite.
So, what is the Jacques brand?
The Jacques brand?
There's a question I haven't asked you, and I'm not necessarily asking for, like,
I don't know.
The podcast. Sure. I mean, it's just truly, what is the Jacques brand?
It's called Jacques brand. I'm gonna buy that right now, Jacques brand. I don't know. I mean, I've always been a behind the scenes. Like, even in my advertising career, I like to create the experience, and it could be totally different from one experience to the next. But just making sure that people enjoy it and go home talking about it and telling others. So I don't know if I have like a brand persona per se yet. I'm not like an outspoken person. I know people look to me to be a leader because I've been very vocal about my opinions, especially the difference coming from a big market like Philadelphia to a smaller market. But I'm also extremely outgoing, so like I don't mind traveling to other cities. I don't mind doing cocktail competitions, which I'm actually doing mostly for Cincinnati, not for myself. Like, the money helps sometimes if you actually win these things. But, Cincinnati deserves a huge amount of respect.
I agree.
In how far it's come in just 4 years. Really, not even.
I would say like 2.
Yeah.
It's gotten a lot better in the last 2 years.
Yeah, but there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Like, it's amazing how much it takes to get, if you aren't like an established company, how long it takes to get capital in order to open a bar. And I give total respect to a lot of the smaller folks like Julia and Catherine and Stephen, who have taken years to try and get the doors open on their spot. And that came with them really establishing themselves, obviously as bartenders first, then bar managers of respected programs. And then just finding those followers that are like, here's X amount of dollars, go do your thing. And that's awesome. That takes like so long. The evolution of how you enjoy, or how people like move from one spirit to the next. Like I had someone that, was obsessed with bourbon, hated rye, absolutely hated it. Just turns out he just didn't know how to drink it.
Yep.
And you start off with a bourbon sour, and then you move them over to kind of a Manhattan, then all of a sudden you're in an old fashioned, and then after a while, I don't know, it's like eating the same food day after day. You're looking for something a little different, so you nudge in a slight change, a 50-50 sort of Manhattan with bourbon and rye, a little bit of spice there, and then all of a sudden it's like a full conversion over to rye. So people do that in short amounts of time, like in the course of a night, and they do it over long periods of time. It's nudging. It's kind of what we do.
Like, I've always been a follower of Jacques. So, I think when I learned that you left Sundry, I was like, oh, well, I'm out. It's not to say like I'm out, but like, I know that's not like turning anyone against Sundry, because Sundry is still a relatively decent place, right? But like, I know with what I'm trying to do for cocktails and comedy, like I kind of know where I need to go and get my content from if I'm trying to grow.
Sure. Yeah. You go where the library is.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Thanks, guys. We'll post soon, and yeah, I have to figure out a better closing.
Yeah, you need like a catchphrase.
Something like that.